We're live. We're live. Trust me, we're alive. Even I am. No, I'm sick. Still sick.
Yeah, I was about to.
But Dayquil is a wonderful thing.
You're high on life?
Sure. I just have a head that feels like it's encased in concrete. My other symptoms are pretty much all gone because of it, but I still have a raspy voice and a little cough here and there, but the cough's much better. So thank you, Dayquil. That's all I'm saying.
All hail the day, Quill.
Yes, exactly.
Goodness.
How are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, I'm okay. Not that anyone actually cares because they don't exist, but I've been doing my dad's archaeological
Hey, nobody
GoFundMe
cares. All right, so today we're covering. I'm just kidding. No.
for his 13-year endeavor at his Roman site, and they finally want to do some funding to cover the final boss book, which will cover the history and one more dig, because literally the last like 3 days of last year's dig, they found a whole new building that wasn't meant to be there, which itself is interesting because building and B wasn't meant to be there, as you can imagine. So
Yeah.
so that's be launching either this weekend, entirely depending on what I get done tomorrow, because can't do it if it's not done. But the video is looking very good. So if you want to support the ambassadors, GoFundMe to create a historical Roman book about what is possibly one of the most what is very likely one of the most lavishly decorated, meaning richest sites in England,
Hmm.
Roman England. Um, Irrelevant that it's been destroyed by time and people, but fragments of what was there shows a clear picture that it has real rich stuff. It's like finding a electric car charger for like 100 years from now. It's like, oh, they were richer, right? That's the sort of
Hmm.
stuff they found. So yeah, I will post about it. Not that you guys will necessarily care, but if you like the ambassador, you want to support his thing, it means a lot to
Do
him.
it.
13 years of work
Do
on it.
it. Yeah, I'm interested in it. So,
Yes.
we're here today to talk about the Galileo 7. Thumbnail should have told you that.
Yep. Or
It's
yesterday's
one of,
content with you, of course. Either
yeah,
one was a giveaway.
yeah. It's one that's loved by a lot of TOS fans. So, I mean, it's going to be fun to see who shows up and what you guys have to say about it.
And I remember when we did previous videos, I always reviewed this one more fondly and expressed the reasons I felt fondly having not watched it in, you know, 10 years, 15 years. Not as much as other ones, which sounds silly, but, you know.
Mhm.
So, whereas you were more negative towards it just because of you see it more recently in internal vibe. So, we've done our normal review. You'll see that at some point. This is the live review. More people, more thoughts, etc., etc. But I'll start showing. We'll jump into it, Stuart. It might be a long one. So, Stuart, what is your thoughts on this? No, yes, yes, and I'll half listen and share.
Feel like the only things you need to do, you know, the routine PayPal, Super Chat, PayPal. Anyway, yeah, I like this one better on these rewatches. I don't know. I just everybody's got something to do, and Kirk is kind of like second tier. He's on the Enterprise doing his Kirk thing, dealing with the like High Galactic Commissioner, the Galactic High Commissioner. Um, Uhura has lines, Sulu has lines, Scotty's got a big part, McCoy's there. He should be more in defense of Spock, but whatever, it's fine. And Spock is good. I don't think Spock made any mistakes. The way he was dealing with things was pretty by the book as far as I'm concerned. So I think Boma was a little insubordinate. Boma, whatever his name was. Um, but overall, I liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, better than I remember for sure. I just wish that. Well, I don't wish, but I mean, the shuttle interior is different, obviously scale wise, than the exterior. But that's just a problem that happens all the time with this kind of stuff. So that's fine. But first episode with the new shuttle prop, and they really do highlighted it. I mean, the whole episode's about it essentially. And then, hey, we got this new prop. Let's show it off, and then destroy it at the end of the episode, basically. Uh, but don't worry, they put a two after Galileo, and we see the Galileo again. Don't worry, it's fine because out of the 7 shuttles that apparently they have, this is the one they use the most often. They do mention the Columbus at least in this one, so there's that. The giant aliens. I mean, not super well done, honestly, but for just the idea of giant kind of creatures as opposed to just something strange or something that you didn't see was interesting. I mean, the spears were quite large, so was the shield that they dropped. So I like the idea of that. Um, yeah, I think this was an enjoyable watch, honestly. And I don't, like I said, I think Spock was really good. I liked his last ditch effort, which honestly was kind of logical in a way. What's more logical, to have a chance for rescue or to just stay in orbit as long as you can and then eventually die anyway? So yeah, I like the choices made in this one. I like pretty much everybody's role in it, even Kirk. I mean, it's cool seeing landing parties come back and or shuttles and have like Kirk on the bridge talking to the guy in the transporter room, getting the brief from the mission. I think that's cool. It's not seen very often, and I like that about this one. Um, just stuff like that that really stands out to me. There's a lot of c- c- procedural stuff, but not in it, from both sides, like being down on the planet trying to survive, as well as being on the ship trying to locate the crew. I think it's quite interesting, the different aspects of it. So I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually, way more than I anticipated. So
I was
that's
going to
my
say,
thoughts
it
on
all
it.
turned around for you because you were not this positive
Oh,
any
it's
other
not.
time, which is all
It's not like
good.
one that I hated. It would be in my
Yeah.
top like 20 of TOS for sure,
Oh, okay, that's
but
still pretty big.
it was never one that I would really go to, right?
Mm.
But yeah, I do appreciate the fact that all the main casts were used, and that they also had additional crew members,
Mm-hmm.
like added extra people like Boma and this Galactic High Commissioner, and they added extra people, and everybody got something to do, which was really fantastic. Where we've seen episodes leading up to this where like Scotty Sulu is absent. It's like it's just kind of odd, but they cram more people in, and yet people got more to do.
I mean, both times it felt like Sulu got super shortchanged because I know that for the most part they just say their station, but both Michelle's tried harder because she had more, she could do more, but Sulu's
Yeah,
just. I mean, there's no effort involved in his acting. The lines were
yeah.
memorizable on the car ride in,
But I mean,
and
there's been episodes where he hasn't even been at the helm, so I appreciate the fact that he's at least there.
I know, but I wouldn't class it something to do. I'd class it he's there with a line anyone could do. Like this, the role could be
Yeah,
for anybody. He does nothing for it, whereas Nichelle and often they add
yeah.
something. Nichelle, like just her leaning on the arm thing. That's a choice she's making to be like really confident. That's like she's adding something. So Sulu got I think got pretty shortchanged.
I think Scotty got him a little bit shortchanged as well. Like, yes, he's doing procedural stuff, but he doesn't really stand up. He stands up for Spock once, near the end.
Well, he's the
But
busiest guy in the whole episode. He's the only one working,
true,
so he
true. But he's
can't
also
afford to do anything but his job, which is looking
third
at
in command of
props.
the Enterprise. Like, he should be.
Look, looking at props takes a long time, Stuart. It's a very
Yeah, I know, I
intense
know.
thing.
Ooh, let's look at this phaser multiple times. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I think I just enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed the vibe of it each time I watched it,
I'm
and
glad.
it surprised me a little bit because yeah,
Yep.
this is not one of my favorites in my recollections. So yeah, that's my thoughts. How about you? What did you think of this one? I know that, like you said, you kind of looked at this one fondly
Mhm.
in your mind's eye,
Mhm.
and you were a little bit let down this time around. So I'm just interested to hear your thoughts on it.
Yes, but there's chats and PayPal's, as you guys know. That helps us do. Well, let's do what we keep doing. We want to keep
Sure.
doing it. So yes,
Well, let me get to those real quick.
beautiful. Because we want to know you guys' thoughts. This is important to us. How you guys feel, what you guys
Mhm.
feel. It's important.
Yeah.
We think it's important.
Yeah, so we appreciate the PayPal's. Ray Ricks, 20 pounds. Thank you so much. Just hey guys, it's a shame I've not been able to make these TOS lives. We'll check in with these after Vegas, but keep up the good work. Thank you,
Yes.
Ray. Much appreciated.
Have
Enjoy your time in
fun
Vegas,
at
bastard.
Vegas. Yeah, and if you want
I
to,
want to be able to go to that.
I mean, you'll
So
be busy, but feel free to email us cool things you're doing because
yeah,
share the love because that's
yeah.
great.
And of course, Olivia with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. This is nothing you should have seen when Sam crashed the Beethoven 4 after the last Drunkyards. Our ship's named after classical
Not
composers, our shuttles.
meant to talk about that.
Oh,
It's like Fight Club when she broke Fight Club.
yeah. First rule, man. Anyway, back to my question.
Yes.
What'd you think, and why were you disappointed this time?
You timed
I
that
already
well.
said the whole thing,
I
so
know, I know, but anyway. So I thought you were going to end that with, and what do you think this time on second watch? But you end up with a more pointed
I know.
comment. Ah, there we go.
While you're talking, I'll just fly this
So
around
my
and see what
memory
we
of this was, this is why I like to record the first review, because that's the raw feeling, right? I'm never going to sit
Yeah.
down and watch this in an analytical mindset, having not remembered most of it. And even the second time, I was less engaged because I knew what was happening. That's just what happens, right? You get less engaged the more you know it. So that was really good to record. So thinking back to my first, what my memory of this episode is that the shuttle's great, which it is. That Spock's in command, and he has to deal with his crew, but not in a particularly negative way, just a case of deal with them and help them live. That there's giants that you see throwing spears that kill some people, multiple people, I remember, and they leave at the end by flying with phasers, and they like use the boost mode on the ship to I don't remember I remember the boost mode, not a fuel loss, and they get picked up without beaming last second. I remember the guy, the Inquisitor. Oh, was it Star Wars?
The Galactic High Commissioner.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay,
Ferris.
close. I remember that guy being in like two scenes, but really mean to Kirk, and Kirk actively fighting against him. That's not true either. So I remember being more of a cool techie episode with a survivalist vibe. It kind of isn't that in real watch. Really, the episode is a drama piece about interpersonal. It's funny because Gene hates this in TOS, in TNG. This whole episode is interpersonal strife and people being at the line of death out of desperation, or conceptually and reacting. Really, it's just the couple of people, mostly the science guy, but it's far more antagonistic than I recall. It's less subtle than I recall. Spock pushes further than I remember, and the shuttle's great. And obviously the commissioner goes in it quite a lot. Second watch, it was a little better, but that's because it. I don't know what happened. I said to you in the other review. First watch, we just watched it. I didn't actually remember them energizing the outside the ship. But I mean, it's only about 45 seconds that bit. But I must have zoned out for 30 seconds to explain it. All I remember
I don't
watching
know how
was
you missed
when
that.
they lightning it. I thought they were using the front. Like I zoned out, and I'm rewatching it. There's loads of dialogue I just didn't catch the first time, which isn't like me. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't. I send you the AI images every time, but that obviously I have little breaks of seeing stuff doing that. But I was surprised how much I re-saw. But it's a weird one because I think, as I said to you, back to my real thoughts, Spock as a character is a certain style of character, and he's not designed. He was never designed to be a team leader in a life or death situation. So when you put him in that, they didn't know how to write for that, and by that I mean they pushed the boundaries of what was possible. And so, how does this guy who is unable to deal with people in the way that a team leader should deals with people and the situation and life or death? He's science slash engineering officer in it, which is appropriate, except everyone else around him needs him to be a captain and a leader, which he's not really being, except when he is. But then he's making weird choices that don't quite connect. And I think everyone makes bad choices in this episode across the board. Not every decision, but across the board. That's the thing. I think everyone's wrong, which makes it hard to be on anyone's side. Spock's wrong for some of the stuff he does, but so's the science guy for pushing back in all his ways, and he should certainly get disciplinary hearing, at least if all the dialogue he was saying out loud was public, because he's really mean to Spock. I mean, he knows who Spock is, he knows his reputation, he knows what Vulcans are like, and he's so rude to him, not racistly, luckily, just like the person and how he's treating things, but he's being in character in those moments. It's the action stuff he's not able to do as much. So, and seeing Nimoy push against what Spock is really interesting, because he's not able to be stoic and small, say, "Yes, Captain," do an eyebrow. He's able to yell, like his version of a yell and his version of an aggression. When he raises his voice, that's such choice by Nimoy, because that's an emotional thing. To the other guy's not talking that loud. You raise your voice out of not anger, but it's an expression of frustration, right? So it's really interesting when he chooses to. And at the end, it's disingenuous now to Stranger Worlds and to other Trek. And I think TOS as well, expressing that this is the first time he ever let him did a fully emotional decision, and first command ever. Both seem unlikely given someone's career in Starfleet, like just impossible.
Yeah.
And certainly not true as of Stranger Worlds, but just impractical, treating it as if this is the start of their journey. So it's interesting. It's slightly better on a second watch, but it's definitely not as good as I remember. And I think I would not have done this with it because I don't love seeing the dramatic. Like, it's hard to relate to the characters when they're pushing this far, but at the end they all accept death with so much bravery, as you expect. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to die in 13 seconds. That's literally McCoy's expression. So, okay. The bravery of that is crazy. Which is why it's weird then to have the scientist guys to be so against him in anger, but he's about to die and he's chill. There you go. That's my thoughts.
I want to point out a few things I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Production order wise, this is 14. That's why we're covering it right now. It's the 14th review we've done. Release order was 16, so it's pretty close. Also, I gotta give them credit for killing yellow shirts and not red shirts in this episode. The only red shirt was Scotty and of course the yeoman, but neither one of them died. I want to address a comment here. Zach says, fun fact, transporters were invented so they could save money on shuttlecraft. Not correct. Transporters were invented so they didn't have to show the ship landing each week. They didn't even have shuttles in mind necessarily because we didn't get one in the enemy within, which would have been helpful, even though the ship was designed with a shuttle bay. The cost of creating a shuttle prop was expensive, so they worked out a deal with AMT Model Company for them to get exclusive rights to the Star Trek models. They would build this prop for them. So it finally showed up. It was a Tuesday, probably. Who knows? But yeah, we get a full episode with the prop, so that's great. So yeah, it was to prevent the ship from landing every week, which that's why transporters were invented. So anyway, yeah, I like your thoughts on it. Honestly, I don't think Spock really made any bad decisions necessarily. He was trying to work out in his head how these primitives were reacting and how they would react. And of course, they're primitives. They're going to react differently. So logically, he was making the correct decisions. But we'll get to those decisions as they come because I don't think
I'll
anybody really
pause on
did
my thoughts.
anything.
You can bring up
Yeah,
and we can debate them for sure.
yeah.
It's a broad
I don't think
conversation.
anybody really made bad decisions per se. They were all doing what they could in a stressful situation. I agree with you though, which is odd. The first time we first time we talked about this shouldn't have started the way it started. It should have started with the shuttle already crashed and then get into the situation because the whole setup of this Murasaki 312 and having to investigate it, well, they also have to go deliver some supplies to Marcus 3 to the new Paris colony is clumsy at best.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good
you know where
phrase.
this fucking thing is. It's not moving. I know you have standing orders to investigate these things, but go deliver your shit and then come back. It's not that fucking difficult, right? Like, if they had said there's certain conditions that are happening right now,
Which is
that
funny when you express it so hard the first time. You mentioned this. I was like, oh, I must have missed something, but no, we want to
yeah,
do it while we're here. That's it.
yeah, we got 5 days.
Yeah, which is fair, but
5 days to get there, 3 days or 5 days for the delivery, 3 days to get there. We have 2 days, so we can go best. Yeah, I don't like that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. There are people dying. There's a plague. You need to get the medicine to where it needs to be. Yes, your rendezvous isn't for a few days, but you don't want to whatever. Anyway, so that should have just the beginning should have been completely different.
well, and briefly on that, let's just deal with that intro. It, imagine if you imagine all the people who are sick, and they're saying, "This great starship could be here in 2 days at maximum warp. How long is it going to take to be here? 5 days." But we're all in pain. Yeah, they've got an anomaly.
Well, they're not delivering the medicine to the colony. They're delivering it to the rendezvous
They
to take it
could
to where it needs to
meet
go.
the colony
I know.
ship, or whatever.
I know,
They could go
I know.
because you've got to assume when they say it's 5 days, they mean at standard warp,
Yeah.
right? You don't go to the extreme. So if you just go faster than that, I'm sure you get there in 1.5 days, and then back. You could, if you pushed it, you could do the trip if it was that important. You've got to imagine there's pretty strict speed laws in the Federation. It's like, well, people are dying, but speed laws. It's like, oh, okay.
Chuck A says, I used to talk to Don Marshall, who played Boma many times
shit.
as TLV. Boma passed away, the actor, apparently in 2016, but Chuck was saying last night that he talked to him every year at Vegas when he was there. So
yeah, I mean, he stands out as
cool.
being he feels
he
like
should have been a regular. I think it would have been nice to have him.
Oh yeah, I mean, he has a look. He has a very like
Yeah,
put together look that just feels not necessarily science, but to me, the way he acts, he feels like he's a guy that works with test tubes on Enterprise on the Enterprise, never goes out the ship, never is in turmoil, and he's the sort of guy who there's an emergency on deck on 5 decks above when people are running around, and he's just chilling
yeah,
out with this thing. Like, I'm not any use. I'm just gonna like his heart doesn't even go
yeah,
up, so he's put in a bad situation. He can't deal with it. He doesn't. He's not equipped for that. Just like how Shaw from Picard is not a good wartime captain because he can't deal with it. He can't deal with this because he's
yeah,
that's as you said wonderfully in the review. The episode is three extremes. There's Spock's extreme logical, which is not good. His extreme
yeah,
emotion, which is not good, and Bones' extreme neutrality, which doesn't work either. You have to
yeah,
have like that. I didn't caught until you mentioned that, but yeah, it's absolutely true. Like they're going
yeah,
too far on purpose.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But going back to the beginning, just all the problems that you could have fixed just by having them already crashed on the
yep.
planet. But it also opens the question of why, in God's name,
Oh, what is this?
do you need 7 people on board this shuttle? One of which is your chief medical officer, your chief engineer, um, your chief science officer, and second in command. Science officer, I get. Um, what's Boma doing? I assume it's something sciency.
Yeah,
Chief medical officer, maybe to investigate like some kind of. That's the thing. If they set up that they need to investigate it now because it's going through a phase of its cycle where it's throwing off weird emissions,
yeah.
cool, stick around. But if it's just fucking here, we can come back anytime and investigate
I mean,
it.
they say it's dissipating at the end, which you can kind of infer means it was time
Yeah, well,
sensitive, but
there was
they
like a
do not say
storm.
that.
There was a storm. That's the reason the shuttle crashed,
But
but
I
they don't
assume they're.
clarify.
And that, I mean, you've got to assume that's
Yeah,
something time sensitive.
yeah.
I
So
don't know.
why? And I also love the juxtaposition position
But
of the title. Oh my god,
mm-hmm.
the Galileo Seven. It's Galileo. It's shuttle number 7, which for the life of me, I cannot believe that 7 shuttles fit on a Constitution class. You'd be lucky to get 4, maybe 6 in a pinch. But anyway, regardless. So it's Galileo 7, and the title is spelled 7. So there's 7 people on board. They are the Galileo 7 people. I love that title.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But we have a PayPal though. Jump in. I will throw my thing.
Indeed, I will check the PayPal's.
We voted the poll,
It
guys.
is. Uh, Jay Donaldson says with $5. So thank you so much. The Galileo 7 holds a special place for me. Growing up, we had a TV station that showed TNG, but TOS seldom aired and only late at night. James Blish's adaptation of this episode in the book Star Trek 10 ended up being my first real experience with TOS. That's awesome. Yeah, those James Blish adaptations of these episodes are great.
Yeah, this could have done with that more time.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The first time I watched this, the intro feels abrupt and stupid, as if let's go do a thing. The thing failed. Oh, we're in danger. But you just started the thing 12 seconds ago. It's so immediate that you're left wondering why the Enterprise why aren't they able to help? So it's we need them to be in danger. Now they're in danger. It's so quick. It having them already be on the planet, and then cut to the ship. I mean, they're already 1 day into the 2 days, right? So you got 24 hours left.
Yeah.
And they find the beings on planet. I think it would have been much stronger. Especially you can see Kirk, how he reacts to losing Spock for a day. Like you could really have played into that.
If anything, I think it makes Kirk look bad, this whole
I did
situation.
say he wasn't the best, and you didn't agree with
Yeah.
me. So yeah, now
Because
he's got
Galactic High Commissioner is just like, hey, I'm here for a reason. We got a thing to do. He's
Yep.
not being an asshole
No,
at
he
all.
really isn't.
At any point, honestly. But Kirk at the beginning is so like cavalier and nonchalant. He's like, yeah, don't worry. We got lots of time. And may I remind you that we have standing orders to investigate quasars wherever they are.
Well,
Like
actually,
he's playing his like he's holding his captaincy, like
Yep.
swaggering over this guy. Like,
He needs
I
a
have say
stick.
here. This is what we're doing. Exactly. So it makes Kirk look a little bad, not incompetent, just a little arrogant and selfish, and like trying to
Yeah.
just put the commissioner in his place. Like, this is my ship. I'm the captain.
I'm the
This is what I want to
captain.
do. Exactly.
Yeah.
Snortopus says, I always thought of him as Commissioner Ferris. He was an ass. He was not an ass. I thought he was as well, but I know for a fact I'm confusing him with the dipshit asshole that's in the episode Taste of Armageddon, who gets his comeuppance by saying he has to beam down and walk into an execution booth. That's the guy
Mm.
that is an asshole, and I confused him with this guy. Ferris is perfectly fair and reasonable in this entire episode, and such a good actor as well. I like the way that he carries himself. So Ferris was not an actor or an actor. He was an actor. He was he wasn't an asshole at all, in my opinion. So
Yeah, he knows with jumping, that's absolutely fine. This works good. He plays it as like we both have a part to play. I'd rather go early because I'm professional and this seems unnecessary, but hey, I'll respect and I'll go away. And
yeah,
even to the point that he is brushed off several times and he comes in and says, "You've got 2 hours left." That letter of the law. And I do like how Kirk doesn't fight back. He fights back in action, not in words. He's not that, you know. People often say he's the rebellious teen character, but he's accepting it. And even while leaving, yes, it's a silly way to leave, but he can just increase warp to catch up. He probably has talked to Sulu about, well, how far can I push this bullshit before I'm endangering lives? I've got 6 more hours and then we'll warp. You know, you get a sense that's what he's thinking, and so
yeah.
feel like a bad, as in bad mold vibe character. This other guy, if at the end he takes command and sits in the captain's chair, but he takes command, says leave, and then leaves the bridge, trusting that
Yeah.
Kirk will do his job, and then just and there's an interesting degree of like, yeah, of course he'll do the right thing, and Kirk's just like, oh, okay,
You
okay,
got to think shit rolls downhill. So Ferris is in his quarters in communication with his boss,
yeah,
who's like, "Is this going to be on time?" As far as I know,
it's
I will
true.
go check again. He's got 3 hours left or whatever. I'm gonna
I'm
go
doing my
to the
best,
bridge and
mate.
check again. Yeah, he probably got the order too. If you need to take command from Kirk at a certain point because you know. But anyway,
And of course, the order is just going to be leave. A very
yeah,
complicated thing to sort of mutiny over. But yeah, if it started on the planet, would set the stage better. You probably could have actually limited and had no stuff on the ship and make it very claustrophobic feeling. Have them out of communication range and rededicate. Because let's be honest, the woman that plays Lady, her character is Lady, right? There's nothing there as a character. This woman, not
apparently it was supposed to be Yeoman Rand, but Grace Lee Whitney, the last episode was her last appearance, production order wise. So
see that makes a lot of sense because she has no part, but it would feel nice to see around. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. She's just a random. There's nothing there. Yeah, because she had more reaction shots or more reaction if they knew.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I do like her around. She's an attractive lady, nice eyes. I don't like the interior of the shuttle. As you said, it feels like it wasn't designed by Matt Jeffries.
Yeah.
It feels like it was very
Yep.
not thought out. Because you pan back to the guy at the back in the back seat, Latano, I think is the whatever. No, Latano's the one in the front beside Spock. Anyway, and the panels beside him, I noticed that the lights are all misaligned. It looks very sloppy. And what are the purpose of these panels?
Yep.
There's a lot of problems with the shuttle during the course of this episode. Let's put it that way.
It felt like, and this is really ambitious for them, right? Full exterior set, and it has to hold up. They actually climb on objects various times. The rock, that's difficult. They had to really build some new pieces that could stand that. And then they're not being gentle. They are climbing on that. So that's really good. This full
Yeah,
shell interior, full shell exterior. It's ambitious, but it feels so strongly like, okay, we have 4 hours to put the details on this set, and the whole thing in 4 hours,
yeah.
and they just ran out of time. Felt like they need to have a second episode, which will come soon, where they finish it because it feels incomplete. I don't know why there'd be that much empty wall space with nothing going on. All the panels being repeated, boring. I mean, it's a very, very. It looks great looking forward, as in at the console. The console's
Yeah,
nice, the display's nice, but and I've done shots in the shuttle, and you'll get a whole film in the shuttle, give or take. A lot of it. It's not interesting from a lot of views because there's nothing going on.
yeah.
It's not interesting, and they could. I mean, come on, a shuttle refit. It could happen. Just have a second go at finishing. I would be shocked if Matt Jeffrey designed it. I'd be shocked. Actually designed it, not just like. I'd be shocked if it was if they were satisfied with it.
It feels very 1960s production Lost in Space, just plant on
Closer.
shit. Whereas the Enterprise is
Yeah.
more thought out. You know what I mean? So Snortopus says the shuttle interior is out of scale with the exterior. Yeah, we talked about that already. We're going to talk about it a few times during the course of this review.
Mhm.
Absolutely. They're missing a bathroom. Almost all shuttles in Star Trek are. So it's fine.
And you can't even see it's beamed out of them in this one because it really isn't.
Yeah. But yeah, they run into some increasing radiation, which causes some issues. And the Galileo gets pulled off course, and the Enterprise
It's just too
loses them
abrupt.
essentially. Yeah.
It's too
I
abrupt. And
do like Kirk though. He's doing shit. Like he's up at the view screen. He
yeah,
pushes a button by the view screen. Then he walks over to talk to the guy, and then he goes to the science station and he's doing things. I love that. He's a secondary character in this one, as you pointed out, which I think is actually interesting because Shatner's like the highlight of every TOS episode. Essentially, he's the main guy, right?
he's not meant
This
to
one he
be,
gets,
but he actually has been.
yeah.
So
This one,
how does he how does his ego approach being like third fiddle almost?
yeah. Well, I think, and as I said, he feels very arrogant in this episode, but that's a Kirk thing, not a Shatner thing. I think Shatner's just like, "Ugh, whatever." I don't know.
But they definitely use more props. He walks around more. There's more of a sense of I got to do something with my time in a good way. Now I'll say this now because I found a good shot of it. So on the live, you can see I've got a shot of the coffee scene. Throughout the whole episode,
Mhm.
I thought, what's happened to Shatner's uniform? Because the neckline looks lower and he has more
Yeah,
neck, and it's really kind of distracting. Because we've seen
it
Captain
looks like one
Kirk.
of the older ones.
I don't know, but we know his look, and that doesn't feel like a TOS uniform. I feel like too much neck, as if they dried it and it shrunk a size. 'Cause it doesn't look as loose, but the neck looks just too low for me. And it was distracting the whole time. It seems silly, but that's not how
Yeah.
it should fit. I don't know. Would you back me up on that, or am I just inventing things?
No, I agree with you. I didn't notice it really until I'm looking at the stills, but yeah. Yeah, it feels pulled like this, like there's too much at the back.
It
It doesn't sit the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, you see too much of his neck, and it's too tight looking.
Yeah. Um
Yeah, shuttle goes down. The shuttle
oh,
land.
this is a
Oh.
point also where Kirk says that it's a 24-foot shuttle, so we get a length of the shuttle in there, which is
No, it
great.
isn't.
24-foot shuttlecraft. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
It's not 24 foot though, right? That's not. That's not
Mm,
true. That's not possible. But yeah, great shot of it landed. I mean, I imagine that was in all the trailers at the time, all the promo material. Because it's I mean, it's a full, good-looking shuttle. That's impressive.
you know, yeah, absolutely. I saw a line of dialogue I got to address from it quick.
Yeah.
Um, Uhura does say there's one planet in the system capable of sustaining human life. It's
Yeah.
Class M, oxygen nitro, listed as Taurus 2. Great. So you're assuming that it crashed.
Yes.
It could have just lost power and be drifting in space. So you searching this planetoid could actually be a huge fucking waste of time. I don't know. There's
Yes.
no clarification that it definitely landed or crashed there.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean,
whatever.
they don't have a single fraction of information until they rescue them,
Yeah,
right? I mean, they're guessing
yeah.
everywhere. So,
Also, would have liked to see the crash because where that shuttle is located, they must have came down, not down, because there's
hmm,
like rocks and shit behind it. I'm just saying, it's a very leisurely crash,
I
but not by the
mean,
interior because there's
landing in
panels.
style, Stuart, landing in style,
Yeah, well,
or the phrase
panels
goes.
are all like wonky and there's wires hanging out. It's like, how did that happen?
Magic?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been an amazing thing to redo, but how do you justify the shuttle's intact? It survived. None of the interior chairs are damaged. They don't look that hurt. They're sort of flung about a bit. Now, this is a really cool scene, but not for the reason you think. I think this is the shot. It's a very, yeah, this is a long take. Is this all one take? Okay, this might be one take. Okay, if this is one take, this is a very, very impressive scene.
It is, yeah.
What's interesting though, I mean, this is the first time we're seeing it properly, right? Is that this is physically impossible. If you look at the guy on the frame, that chair sits against the wall. We
Yeah.
are currently not just outside of the wall, but we are stepped back a good amount outside the wall. So they've obviously done this first scene, I assume first in the shooting order, where they've either removed or not placed yet this wall of the shuttle, which is cool. I didn't
No,
know
it's
they could
not the
do it.
shuttle. This is a set they built for the
Well,
interior.
it's the shuttle set. Yes, in true, but it's the shuttle
The
set.
exterior, yeah, the exterior shell is completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is the shuttle set, so they've taken out the inner wall. So now it's like a pantomime, or it's like a stage play where there's only with a set that you see like a sitcom, and so they're shooting, and it's really fluid, and it shows the set because it's a really claustrophobic small space, and you can tell when they shoot other scenes where they've assembled it and they don't want to assemble it. Everything's tighter, smaller, and it has a different feel. This is really flowy. It's really effective. Like wow. But then you realize the walls we're outside of reality and a lot outside of reality to achieve these shots. So it's a really interesting and like stage play feeling thing. It's cool.
Koi's kind of a shit medical officer, just going, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? You got a tricorder, my dude. Scan people."
No.
Anyway, it's
Yes.
fine.
And look at that. 2 dark shadows on Mr. Spock. And that's how you know it's not a real set, as in a real scene, because where are your shadows coming from, sir? They're not. There's no lights that can do that.
And there's the first Superman pose. He does it many times this episode.
Well, I imagine
Just needs a
Nimoy
cape.
was thrilled about this episode. You know, he got to do really interesting, different things.
Yeah.
I bet he was really happy.
But they arm themselves with phasers.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they have 6 phasers, not 7. I guess there might be 7. You'd think you'd have a phaser for everybody on board. There's 7 seats. So, but I like the little locker. Where does that go? Because those walls can't be that thick. Because that really fucks with the scale of the shuttle even more.
24 feet and 1 foot walls, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And they leave. And I've always been impressed by the outside inside. Like, I assume this is the real inside with a fake outside. Because presumably because there is an inside to the inside to the outside, but it's just however big it needs to be. It could be an optical illusion as to what's where. Or is this the outside?
It's a good question.
Looking
I
in.
don't know the answer to that. Because the shuttle itself is not big enough to stand up in. Like the chairs would all fit fine. You wouldn't have a lot of room. You could sit in the chairs, no problem. But you'd be hunched over when you're moving around.
When Nick built our 3D model, I just said make it work, and he did. And there's a middle bit of the console which is meant to be like at belly level, but
Yeah.
to match everything to work together, it's so high that the console's so high, so the chairs are all wonky. So just to make it look visually right, you got to break the scale. And also, can I just point out, push. There's a push button to open the door. That's fun. Right. But then McCoy talks to Spock about can we be okay, and they don't know. At least he's trying, I guess. And many shadows. Uh-huh.
A lot of activity on the bridge back on the Enterprise.
Yes.
A lot of extra characters walking around and stuff.
A lot of golds, which I love seeing.
Exactly, yeah. Ferris is there. He's not being an asshole, even though he does have his arms crossed. It looks like one, but he's not.
As long as he's not eating an apple. Am I right?
And we find out the transporters are not working. Any test things are beamed have come back in a disassociated condition, assumed because of the radiation of the Murasaki effect. Again, not really clarified, but they were just down that day, you know. So they launched the Columbus. And
which feels odd to me. I know it's not quite 5 minutes later, but the first shuttle could be destroyed because you launched it. So our reaction is to launch a second shuttle without any specific precautions. Fine, you can be more cautious, but it happened within a few seconds, and it doesn't feel like there's enough of a "and we'll be fine," right, to justify that.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you in a way, but at the same time, when you look at the next shot where it launches, they're in orbit of the planet. So you could assume that there's not as much interference or like disturbances there because they launched the other shuttle way out.
This is
which
true.
is one of the reasons it crashed. But yeah, I totally agree with you on that one.
And the pace of the episode made me feel that way the first time, that it felt like so quick, but it might not be. Then you see McCoy come out the inside. And I like how that foot bit actually is quite strong, because it doesn't do this very much. It's actually quite strong.
Yeah.
They built it
Well, look at him.
well.
Yeah, look at him standing on it, a little bit hunched over.
Yep.
And then you see the interior shots, and they're standing full height in there.
Yep.
It just does not compute.
Nope.
But
And it still
whatever.
feels big, though.
And yeah, it is big. You can see the bottom where it goes down, and people are going to say that. But that's also exactly where his feet are, level-wise. If you look at the open door.
Yeah. Well, and also you need, tech.
Yeah.
Where does the lady pull the £100 worth of stuff? Where does Scotty put his hand down
Where does
to have the fuel tanks? Like, you need space for stuff, guys.
Yeah. Where's McCoy and Boma later? Hey, we got time to bury this guy. Wait a minute. They come around the corner from the back. Like, what are you doing? You're like, also the back isn't this tapers in. So there's even less internal volume in there than you'd think.
And we see it.
Plus,
and
you
there
need
is
room
none.
for the impulse engines and the landing gear. Like that. There's so many issues with size, but whatever. It's fine.
It does feel like the director didn't really care. Because you don't make that mistake. You have the physical set. You've seen the outside of the ship. You know for a fact there's no back room. There's a back service area.
Yeah.
So you don't prompt things with them coming out of that area. There's a shot in DS9 where Odo's giving an entire set tour to a Bajoran guy, and they walk the entire set, and it was really good for reference shots for me. And you can tell that they've told the actors to go actually against the wall behind the edge to get themselves one full stride into shot, to get the full set.
Yeah.
And I know those sets, and you can tell they're right there doing this, walk out, and then they go right up to a wall that's a stage door. You can see them like full belt, and they're because they're using every single inch, because they're walking at a stride. Same thing, they're kind of pushed against. Right, come out. It's like, well, okay.
But this is where McCoy says, "This is your big chance." Chance for what, Doctor? Command. You always thought that logic was the basis on which to build command. Now you get to test that out.
Well, proven wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, Spock's like, I neither enjoy the idea of command nor I'm frightened by it. It's a fact.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. For him in this episode, command is about survival.
Yeah.
Is about getting us, which does make sense. But command, think about how Kirk would do it. He's not the one who's going to be out fixing the ship. He's the one working the team, morale, using the resources. Spock doesn't do that. So he doesn't command the team. He does what he's best at. Luckily, the team's quite good at doing their own thing. But there's a different thing. But also it's logical. Really, he should have given command to McCoy. I said this in another review. If he gave command to McCoy as a senior officer with experience, I think he's older than Spock, potentially, or at least more years in Starfleet. So McCoy possibly has a better experience with command, possibly, and Spock could then be just dealing with repairs. Because when they talk about the funeral in a minute, and Spock puts it off to McCoy, I'm like, yes, we've got 6 hours to repair the ship. Adding an extra hour for Spock to give some words versus McCoy, it's the exact same thing for McCoy to do it, really, practically, functionally, but we could die. Don't be petty, Mr. Guy. I know what you're trying to do, but we haven't got time for that. Have the funeral when you get home, or the eulogy when you get home. Should have put McCoy in command, and should have had Spock just repair. Right? Because McCoy can take command. Right? He's senior officer enough.
Well, actually, Scotty's more senior than him.
He's
Scotty's
even more
third in command of
busy.
the Enterprise. That's true. That's true.
Okay, fine.
But
Spock puts Scotty in charge, and Scotty puts McCoy in charge. Done. Proper chain of command. Which is correct. But there you go. They're real busy.
yeah. Then he goes and talks to Scotty. Oh. I love the chairs. I love how they swivel and the way that they lean back and so far forward. Jesus Christ. And if you want to lose weight, which they do, they need the weight of like 3 humans, essentially 3 adult males, 3 adults. Just get rid of the fucking chairs.
So I thought this both times. First of all, they said adult males, which kind of tells you they're not going to kill the lady.
Well, yeah.
Subtle distinction, but I thought they made a point of that. And she's quite a petite lady. But I'd imagine these chairs are made of the lightest materials possible. These aren't going to be many pounds combined, because you can
No, but
definitely
it's
make
still getting you towards that goal.
it is, but then also you're moving aroundness. There's a risk in the losing 18 pounds of material. For now, you're on the floor. You can slide and slam into stuff. That gives you a center of gravity. I thought that, but they're going to be really light. So
I'd be like, go investigate things. We need to lose 3 people. All right, Latimer's down. That's 1. Sweet.
well, they don't mention it, but that you know, I guess it would push Spock too far if he said,
Well,
only 300, only
yeah.
300 pounds to lose. I was like,
Well, it's 500 pounds. They said.
no, no, but after the guy died, like you've lost a
Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
And I want
But
to
I
note
like Bulma
something.
here. It's like, who's gonna decide? He's like, well, it's my choice, my option. I'll arrive through it at it logically. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that. One quick thing. You mentioned later in another review that the blinds were up, so the blinds do work because they're down here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't even realize they were or weren't, but they are functioning.
Yeah,
Blinds.
later he orders the shutters closed, and then the next scene where they electrify the outside, they're still open, like nobody followed the order.
Well, they're a bit busy, aren't they? Also to see the effect of the lightning and such. Okay, so this is an interesting point. I'm glad you brought this up. This whole moment, I guess, the start of the end for this guy's respect for Spock in general. But Spock says here, I will use logic to pick who lives and dies, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the easiest and most logical solution. So that is his thing, right? Is it 1 episode ago that he had a whole rant about Thingy the Conqueror, Karakos, Koros, whatever his name is, about how he used Kolos, his logic and structure to save 4,000 people. Now the scale is different, but you're doing the exact same thing that he did in an exactly similar life or death situation. Spock, you fucking hypocrite. The scale irrelevant. You're picking right. Is that not very, very, very comparable?
No.
Okay, excellent.
Because Kodos, it was a colony, and it was like civilians, women and children that were also being killed. These are all people that signed up for Starfleet, knew the risks, knew that that's something that could happen. This is a little bit different, in my opinion.
It was a little bit different, but could he not see the perspective of the other guy where logic dictated these would live?
Well,
we're saving these people, and you're using logic and he's using logic. Yeah.
Well, in production order, yeah, Conscious of the King came at episode 13. Then this one was made. But release order, this one was released 3 episodes after Conscious of the King, so it wouldn't be back to back necessarily. But yes, I see what you're saying.
I mean, and they're not the same thing, but he actually shouldn't use logic. He should use a thing out of a hat situation. You know what I mean? If he's being
Well, that's what Boma said.
Yeah.
Should we draw straws?
Yeah, because if you get to pick, you're no better than the other guy because he picked to save people.
But that's what commanders have to do, though. Sometimes
that's what colony people have to do. Sometimes he just didn't go well for him.
No, he assumed Marshall. It's totally different.
And all 8,000 should have died. You know, he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't like a bad villain. He was just a guy that did it anyway. I just found it interesting that these are back to back, and you just had this thing, and he vented so hard against it. And you're doing the exact, at least thematically, the same thing.
We got a PayPal from BJ Turan for 386. So thank you.
We need them.
I don't see the big deal with the size of the shuttle outside and inside. It was manufactured by Time Lords and Poppins Limited. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and they were given Discovery shuttle tech, which is based on Discovery tech, which is based on the interior.
It's true.
I think it hides it well enough. You really. Except them walking around, it's such a substantial prop, and they're sitting. Yeah. I think when they're stood up, you think about it, but when they're sitting, you don't feel it. So I think it's an optical illusion for the most part. So well done them.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so Spock changes the subject, so we should go check the exterior to make sure there's no other damage we didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have McCoy and Boma. It's like something. If any damage was overlooked was when they put his head together, and McCoy's like, no, not his head, Mr. Boma, his heart, which is a very McCoy thing to say.
But love McCoy's line, but that guy's, I know he's saying it privately, and we all say things in private that we don't say in public. But that's super rude.
Yeah.
It's basically saying, I don't like him, I don't trust him, he shouldn't be in command, which is what he's saying, but it's really rude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we get Latimer and Katano. We're out doing their thing. They hear sounds. And they're both gold shirts. I love it. Because gold
Yes.
shirts die more than red shirts in TOS, statistically, which is interesting. But yeah, they get big ass spears shown at them. As Eric Martin said to me last night, the size of telephone poles. I do like the idea that they went with a giant alien instead of just like they did something. They tried to do something different that felt alien, and I got to give them credit for that because it could have just been regular savages or like something like that, right?
And this is where the episode, I think, does, because I mean, if you watch either review when it comes out, I'll slate this thing for the amount of things it didn't do right, but it's because they're trying to do too many things. So the idea of giants is actually excellent, right? And it works well when they throw or when they shoot and the big shield comes down, and it's the size of three people, or
Yeah,
the foot. When the concept of it is there, then the idea of seeing a giant over the rocks, that's cool, but they have no ability to realize it
yeah,
except when he's bashing the things he's saying on a ladder. That works okay, but all of these shots are so poorly done for what they are that the attempt is failed by their limited scope, and it's odd because if you're gonna go full Jaws, never show them, right?
yeah.
But they didn't do
Well,
that.
till the end, you got to see a little bit at the end.
Yeah, well, indeed, but if you can actually show them, then do shots where you build like you build two versions of the set, right? One where the rocks are smaller and you shoot up and you're seeing them walk over it like Attack on Titan, right? Like you could do miniature force perspective stuff to actually have shots where they're giant, and that would be amazing, but they don't do any of that and it falls down and just because I remember Mandela Effect, these guys being reused in some form of the cage creature, even with the weapons,
I know which one you mean.
because it's kind of similar and seeing close with him, but it also not the episode. But I just don't. I think it kind of fails, and also the way they throw the spears is embarrassing. The further it goes on, because they're not throwing at anybody, just going boom. Like it. Nothing they're trying actually works.
Yeah,
which is a problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Hines Photography throws in 5 Bronx, I think. I don't know.
Hey, thanks.
But thank you. And says, sorry, just passing by today. Came back from a DS9 rewatch with friends. Watched
Total.
Cisco punching Q in the face. Have a nice evening. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
We'll get to DS9 eventually.
And this, yeah, and this is the embarrassing shot where they pan down, and then like the fog level is artificially like raised. Really bad. Really bad.
Yeah.
It's really noticeable too. It really took me out of it. I thought it would get better when I watched it the second time. It did not.
Well, first of all, I've got to commend them. These rocks are very climbable and it's very effective. Like they've
Yeah.
put work into these sets, and I really appreciate them. And the fog, I think it's the most effective, unique landscape so far, without just being it's a blue. You know, well done. But yeah, this transition, they obviously isn't the fog layer they want. I assume it's both they can't do the fog layer, but also they probably sense a thing where they couldn't show the big stabby thing in the guy's back. He's still there, so they have to hide it. And
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and in fact, I'll go back and watch the original version because I'm sure it was worse, but they tracked it very poorly. It's only like 20 frames, and nowadays you could track any good artist could track that and do better. But again, these are cheap remasters. They were not done with any degree of real quality. Most of it doesn't matter too much. But for example, they don't even bother to track the phases. The phases are static, and they're doing this. Just a day. You could track almost every phase. It's not that difficult, you know.
Devo says, where did they get the wood for the spears and shields? Probably from the woods that are nearby.
And the animals they killed, and yeah.
Yeah. It's just this is a rocky area. This is part of the.
Well, imagine if you landed in the Galaxy Quest set, those rocky bits, which is a real place in the world. You'd be like, oh, this planet's desolate. No, it's not. Just that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next bit I find amusing slightly because Spock is so focused, which again he's in Spock mode, not Commander vibe. And that works better second time. And you see he should be doing this. He's not cool. Everyone else is just so intimidating. You know, oh my god. But then the way that Spock comes in, pull out the scene for a second. Dead guy.
Yeah.
Right through his chest. Blood everywhere. Pool of blood. He's going... Like, and I mean, there's no weight to it. It's like a dummy prop. But he's pulling out this giant... He's gone through his body. Leaving a cargo. And there's nothing made of it. He doesn't care. It's very tone deaf and odd. What is a horribly graphic moment. He's like, oh, a spear. Looking, it's like a chest burst
Yeah.
scene, right? It's
And
so
even,
like this. And
even Boma is like, well, at least he died quickly. Poor Latimer.
did he?
Thanks, guys.
Giant stabbed through his chest, fell and broke his neck. He had a really painful 5 seconds.
I think he meant compared to them.
Well, but if they all get thrown spears, they're fine. As in similarly quick death. I just wish these props felt less like rubber. But they've got to be thrown. I get it. But they don't have any weight. But apparently they're
Spock,
1920s. You know?
like how Spock instantly is like, oh, it's resemblance to the Folsom Point, discovered in 1925, Old World Calendar, New Mexico. He's doing his Spock thing, trying to get a feel for the opponents that they're basically facing.
Is his job.
So I don't understand the whole man is dead. It's like, yeah, but we need to understand our foe as well. Like Spock's not doing anything bad in this instant. He is doing his job, as you said.
But that's the thing, he isn't. His job is to be leading this mission and to work with his team. He's not. He's sciencing. What he should have done is gone there, said something about even a Spockism of this is you know, this is very regrettable. He was a good officer, and then says, look, scout the area. So he pulls it out. They come back, no one in the vicinity. Okay, watch guard. Focus on what happened. That's more important to the people in the mission. Then look at the fact that he's not even acknowledged the death of their friend is so disrespectful. But Spock's on the next problem. This is a corpse. Who cares? But that is entirely wrong for a command officer.
Well, Kirk would have done the same thing, but in a different way. He would have come in and saw the dead guy and go, shh, what are we facing? What did you see?
Which is more appropriate.
But I mean, the conversation's already happened between Boma and Gatineau saying, but Kirk wouldn't have been like, oh my God, it's so sad. It would have been like,
but also would have been a body language. They would have sensed he cared. Spock is a flat entity. They can tell he can't, doesn't care.
Exactly. That's Spock being Spock.
But they don't want Spock going a commander, which is why he's not a good commander. Because that's the thing. They're not mismatches. They're mismatched as a team. That's the thing. They're not. If they knew each other, they'd be fine. But they don't. That's why it's a weird one.
Kirk would do the same thing. Try to find out what their opponent is like, what they're capable of, to start making a plan. Spock's doing the exact same thing.
Cared.
Spock's doing the exact same thing, just in a Spock way.
And it's bad. And it's has to be Kirk way. That's the subtlety, right? That's the even like the Star Trek movies, right? When Spock has got all this experience, he gives something back in moments, right? He's not just reacting. There's normally something else that he does because he's learned, he's experiencing. It's really interesting. That's why because they're both right and both wrong in most scenes. Because they should be acknowledging, okay, we'll work out the problem. What can we do for him now, right? He's dead, and Spock does let him take them. There's no, take the body. That's absolutely fine. But maybe mourn him when you're not out in the open next to villains who just killed a guy. Like, there's ways of looking at it, and I like that. It's just, for me, everyone's in the wrong, even though everyone's right. It kind of works both ways, but yeah. Well,
argument may be made either way, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, which is good, but also annoying.
Yeah. Well, the next scene, you see a shuttle returning to the Enterprise, and then we get somebody bringing data disks over to Kirk. Now, this guy was in the last episode.
Cool.
He was the security guard at the end that what's-her-face, Lenore, stole the phaser from at the end. This is the same character.
So he got demoted because he sucked.
He got promoted to the bridge crew in a gold shirt.
Shit. Do a good job.
Kirk was like, you're an awful security officer. Put on a gold shirt, go to the bridge. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that he and Kirk are only survivors of another colony. They had to keep him close. Random reassignments and all
that. Transporter still unsafe. Sensor still not working 100%. And this is where Ferris says, you're running low on time. He's like, I know that. just keep working on the transporters. We got to get them working, and let's increase the search radius of the Columbus 2 degrees on every lap. And Sulu's like, well, that'll miss a lot of ground. He goes, I know, but we'll also cover more ground at the same time.
Yeah.
So
We are between a rock and a hard place. And it's interesting because Kirk in this particular situation is impotent. Right? He can't do anything from his throne.
yeah.
All he can do, which is what the story focuses on, is force them to stay as long as possible and push the rules. It's all he can do. Right?
I love the look too when Ferris gets in the turbolift and says 24 hours, Captain. And then the door closes and Kirk gives that look ahead like, yeah, I know.
But it's mutual respect.
Absolutely, yes.
But not in a respectful way. Yeah. Back on the planet. Did they pick the... This is what they had last week, didn't they, for on the beaming supplies down or something, the same material? But what are these
they're
things?
Test cylinders.
Okay.
Well, they're just like canisters for carrying equipment or something. So.
And why is the doctor here? And why is the
And where
lady
were
here?
those stored? Where were those stored?
Just...
Like you can see the tanks in the back, which you assume go to each of the impulse engine things, perhaps. Right? Like, anyway, it's fine.
I bet Dune got a bit annoyed of like, right, spend the entire episode your hand in a hole. Like every scene.
Hide that missing finger.
But it's actually they built the set on a physical. They had to build it higher for this to work.
Yeah.
Because it's effective, you know?
Yeah. And this is the scene where Boma comes in and says, "Ready for the services for Latimer." And Spock's like, not right now. But you
Go
should
back
give a few
later.
decent words. And Spock's like, Doctor, it's more your forte. You go do that. And with McCoy, of course, argues with him. And then Boma goes back out, and you see his hand close the lower part of the door.
Yep. Yep.
It's funny.
It's pretty. I mean, but also maybe that's how they did it for most of the shots, because this is the interior set which looks at the outside, which I appreciate they did build a portion of the outside. You know, it all matches up quite well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is so. It again. This is where both are right and wrong. I think it's silly, this guy, to put the health and well-being of the entire crew of this mission to take one of the two important guys to fix it, to say a funeral, which is going to be rushed and not very respectful anyway, with him there. That's more important than saving their lives, because every minute matters. So I think he's in the wrong here for asking. He should have gone and said, right, we're doing the funeral in 5 minutes. Anyone wants to be there, we can. Mr. Spock, sorry, I'm busy. And then he shows a look with him, like, fuck this guy. But
it makes me wonder what Kirk would do in the same situation. Would Kirk go out and say a few words? Maybe. But also, Kirk is very, very good with making sure his crew is safe and fine. But I could also see Kirk going out and saying like a quick thing, you know. So that's the way I'm approaching this episode. What would Kirk do in the same situation?
Well, okay. Are we verbatim swapping?
I think Kirk might have pushed it off to McCoy too, saying, "Doctor, could you please? I've got stuff to do."
Which I think McCoy's better to do anyway. He probably knows the guy.
I do too. Yeah.
And he's not busy.
He's a fucking doctor. What is he going to be doing right now?
Yeah,
go take care of that dead guy. Say some words. You might bring him back to life. Who knows?
Like, wouldn't you rather him have a proper funeral than Spock say he was a good officer? Will that suffice? No.
I hardly knew him. He came on last week.
Yeah,
and, you know.
In fact, he stole my LARP once, whatever it's called. So that's what I'm saying. Like, both of them right and both of them wrong. You can see both perspectives so strongly, but they're so in their own head, and both make sense. But yeah, what would Kirk do? I feel like if it was this exact situation where Kirk would just be assisting Scotty, he would go, because he can't help that much. But in this, Spock is actually speeding up what, in theory, he's helping his percentage of increase. Although the tools make me laugh every time. Real screwdrivers and then painted bits of wood greebly that means nothing. I love them, but they're garbage. I love them though.
Yeah. But they find they're out of fuel, and Spock's like, well, that makes the situation of who I have to leave behind easier because we're all stuck.
Which
And
is
then find
fair.
some alternatives. Oh, there are an alternative. There are always alternatives, Mr. Scott.
Which reminds me of the always possibilities line,
Yeah.
whichever movie that's from. Now, how do you feel about having the
And
very,
then
very high-tech gauges and piping of the 21st century? And maybe as old as that, that spear, 1920 style piping in your very advanced shuttle. How does that feel to you, Stuart?
well, it makes sense. There'd be conduits for plasma, for wiring. I think it's fine.
Okay.
You see wiring harnesses and stuff in like the new shows too.
Don't be quoting the new shows. That's dangerous.
I know, but speaking of dangerous, where the fuck were McCoy and this lady, and what were they doing back there? And why is McCoy holding his phaser backwards?
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh no, McCoy. Well, he did just put his trousers back up, so he was busy.
Well, they were right around the
That's
corner. It's such an odd place to be. Like, what were they doing back? What was she doing back there the entire time?
I'm gonna take a picture of this. See, this is depressing because this kind of devalidates Nico Martin Green for doing her thing. Because I mean, he's
I
only
understand he's not at the ready. She was in a battle, so it doesn't make sense for her. He might have just grabbed it and just he's holding it. He has no intention of using it yet.
yeah, but you're trained. Everyone's have extensive drills. You ain't.
I know.
You ain't.
And that's hard to hold them backwards, honestly, and have it feel comfortable.
Imagine any medic in any military in the world running out of a room and holding their Beretta backwards. You ain't doing
It
it.
feel kind of good.
You ain't
It
doing
kind
it.
of good to hold it like that.
But no,
Anyway,
it's physically impossible. And you always need to like do I say this every episode now, an AI film, which is the moment before this where you AI recreate the set and have them just squished up and then walk out and that's the set. Because then, yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah, it's not the runabout. There is no other space. You see the two walls and that's the edge. That is nothing else. Yeah.
yeah.
And they have a bloody door. Just have them come in the door. Okay. But we have action now. We get out. Action, action, action. Now this is a bit I'll entirely side with Spock on, but also talk to you about. So, right, we're hearing things. We've lost one guy, so emotions are strong. 100%, right? Get it. And let's assume it's their friend. Cool. Why are the lowly officers going straight from, we've got our phasers, let's kill a bitch? You've got stun. Is it not logical to shoot them all with full stun as many times as you need because it will solve the issue significantly? Why is it kill or make them be scared of a beam of light? I don't understand. Please explain this to me.
I can't. There's no explanation. They forgot they had stun. Just put it on stun wide dispersal. Everybody fire in a different location. Cover, knock a few of them out. Some of them are hiding behind rocks would run away. It doesn't make sense. And this is a script conceit that we get all through all Star Trek. So
because that's the thing, Spock's right. We don't go straight to killing, 100%.
Yeah.
So maybe don't ignore the shoot them bit. Because if Spock had been practical here, he would have shot them. 100%.
Well, they can't see them yet. They can just hear them because they're rubbing.
No, but the order would be to shoot them. Happens all the time in Star Trek.
Though. Yeah. Love this discussion though. He's talking about whether they're tribal or whether they're just a loose association, and it's like we could use that, and they're kind of conflicting as far as their thought process. But that was going back to what Spock was saying earlier about their spears. Their technological advancement would indicate this, and Boma's jumping to a completely different thing. So again, it's the logic versus the emotion in this scene. Spock kind of knows more where they fit in the grand scheme of evolution.
And yet, he was wrong by how he interpreted their reactions to things. So he's also wrong.
Well, yeah,
he does it hindsight, but he's not correct. He's choosing an option with low evidence, and it is the incorrect option.
But Boma's also acting on, they just killed Latimer. Well, exactly. We've got to hit them hard. Make them think twice about attacking us, those fuckers.
Yep. Yeah. But imagine how it would have played differently if they had just, as all 5 of them, well, maybe Scotty, walk in with full phases and just stun the entire tribe for 10 hours. Seriously, right? I mean, do you not
And
think,
not just the men. I stun the women and the children too.
especially the 6 foot
They're
4 children?
they're animals.
Oh god, yeah. It's just weird. And that's where the episode is made up of very small scenes, and I find myself disagreeing with so many of them, which keeps putting the episode down for these little bits where
Well,
my original brain I remember the whole story, but these little that there's a flawed
yeah,
interaction which doesn't really work.
yeah. Well, reacting to Bowman's thing, let's just hit them hard. Let them make them think twice about attacking us. And then that's when Spock says, "I'm appalled by the low regard you Earthmen have for life."
And
At
I
least we're
text you,
practical about it. I know. At least we're practical. I say hit them before they hit us. It's like,
Stu,
okay.
as soon as that happened, you effing hypocrite again. 4 minutes ago, you just didn't show what's his phrase? You didn't show respect for life with your own officer who died.
Yeah.
And now you're bitching about humans? You
Well,
fucking hypocrite
here's
again.
here's
What?
my
Stop
argument. Here's
being
my
hypocrite.
argument.
I know.
Shut up.
Yes.
Just kidding. Just kidding. My argument is they're Starfleet officers. That's part of the assignment. You know, you could get killed in the line of duty. These are primitives that feel like something is encroaching on their territory. So to just randomly kill them for no fucking reason, I understand Spock's point of view. That's not what Starfleet is about. But then stun them, for fuck's sakes. Give them a bloody nose, stun them, have, they think that their tribesman is dead. He comes back like a day later. Oh, I don't feel so good. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different approach. Spock's thinking we as more advanced, more intellectual, more whatever cultured people shouldn't just focus on giving them a bloody nose and killing them, which is what Boma wants to do because he wants to get revenge for Latimer. It's a very human, emotional response. And Spock is very much like, why is that the first thing you go to? But if you're dealing with somebody like Klingons, it would make a little more sense because they would know the situation. But it's against Starfleet's ideals to do that. And that's, I think, what Spock is trying to convey here. He just doesn't do a very good job of it.
Which I entirely argued as well. The stun thing. The argument falls apart as soon as you say just stun them. There's no other argument you need, right? But it's just you literally have not shown. Savages you can be sympathetic for, but your own crew you have to have respect for, and you did not show respect for human life, and it's just hypocritical for you to say it. You just were disrespectful to human life.
I kind of disagree because of the Starfleet thing. But he does say here, we must weigh the danger to ourselves because they don't have advanced weaponry. They just have spears. We must weigh the danger to ourselves and our duties to other life forms.
But that's such a dangerous principle to say. If you beam down to a planet with pre-warp civilization, focus on their lives and respect their lives more than your own crew who gave their lives to serve in Starfleet to help people. They're worthless. I should not respect them as much because that's what I'm saying. You're not respecting your officer for the other.
Your thinking's kind of wrong in that regard, I think.
Excellent.
Because you're an advanced civilization beaming down to people that don't understand what the fuck is going on. To them, you're just magical. You just appeared in their territory.
I'm just saying respect both. You didn't respect both.
I get it. But
because remember, I'm only arguing for the first point, the your own officer bit. I agree with the entire second point. It's the first. He didn't respect his own officer. He shouldn't be saying this as the argument. Just say, don't kill innocent. Well, not innocent. They kill the guy. Don't kill people who don't know any better. That's the argument. But we're both saying it's a bad argument, just in different ways.
Yeah.
And did you catch? When this closing shot, he gives his whole speech and says, and as soon as he's about to say, Scotty, he says, Scotty. He forgets Scotty's name, but he recovers the take. It's really subtle, but you can hear Nimoy break for like that one syllable. It's like, oh no, but he kept it. He forgot the guy's name. And it's cute.
Didn't notice that.
Yeah. Scotty. But anyway, they go and I do love the smoke. The smoke is very well done. That must have been very expensive. Let's be honest, because it's constant, right?
Yeah, he does make an order before this saying, fire only where I say, and only to frighten, not to kill. So
yeah, which in fairness, they do listen to him.
Yeah, they do.
Which is important, and he also does shoot them. Spock actually shoots at them, and hits one, the shield. So he kind of breaks his own thing there.
Yeah. And
which
that
is
shield's really cool.
yeah, no, it's great. You don't even get the scale. I wish I had another shot of it
Yeah.
because it is the throw shot doesn't feel that big. 'Cause it probably isn't, is it? That's probably a different shield because it's less dangerous. Yeah, that's a smaller shield, and the other
Yeah.
one's this giant. Because that's if that had truly been what we got, this giant scale, giant and giant, that would have been impressive. It doesn't quite come across.
Oh, SC Scout guy's here. And
Hey,
when we were doing our shuttle ranking video,
yeah.
he had a pain and he got taken to the hospital. He had his gallbladder burst, and he had surgery. And he was watching my live last night and he told me about it. So good to see you here, SC Scout guy.
Whoa, yeah.
Hope you're feeling better. But it happened during our live. Feel responsible. I'm so sorry.
I am saying I hope you're okay. It's a bit of an understatement, but I hope you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Good to see you though.
Yeah, seriously. Uh, but what do you think about what I said earlier about how this episode occurred done with like massively done with them building a miniature set and see the giants walking above, so you got a
It
sense
would have
of
been, yeah, it would have added to it for sure. But I think, again, it's additional cost to do that kind of stuff.
be cut something else. You know, you
Sure,
because
sure.
that would have
Yeah, yeah.
been more effective. Because it would have been because then here you can imagine like because these are big sets. You had like a shadow being cast on one of the rock faces, and that's approaching its full scale. You could do that, or you build
Yeah.
just the top like a paper mache, just like a shadow bit. He just does this, holding it,
Well,
and a big shadow could have been really because they're so big
they
rocks symbolically to be that tall would have been so
they needed
impressive.
to do a forced perspective shot
Yeah,
because the one they get later where he walks up to him
it,
and does this and just doesn't do anything, just like
it actually feels
it's
like a
kind of
guy like on top of another guy.
if yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, do forced perspective shot, which is easy to do in camera,
Yeah.
and you could have
Especially
really
then
made
when
that
they know how to do it.
because they were cutting to commercial at that point. So you could have like
Yeah.
the bend over is really lame.
Well,
If it was about to attack and then they cut, would have been much better.
that's why I said in both reviews they are aiming for the stars and they're barely hitting the atmosphere. It's
Yeah.
too much. But speaking of, they get to the rock face they can climb. Spot climbs up. It's again really well done in terms of just it copes. The phases are not tracked, but I appreciate the actors for staying as damn still as possible because they are having to, and it's mostly works. But fix damn
At
thing.
least they didn't freeze the frame, which they do occasionally,
I mean, you couldn't
especially
in
on
the
close-ups
smoke,
of hands.
could you?
Yeah, exactly. Especially on close-ups of hands, though, they freeze the frame so that it doesn't move, so they can do this effect.
And the way Spock jumps down, that's a not an insignificant little jump. They
Yeah.
probably had a padded area, but it does feel a bit like a pointless scene, really. When you watch it in context, they're shooting somewhere. Okay, back to the
Well,
scene. It's like this is
as Spock
this is the
says,
action of the episode. Like, okay, yeah, sure.
you should have seen a phaser hit off a rock or something because
Yeah.
he says they should think twice now about attacking us. Fear will do what needs for us what needs to be done. I mean, that's the
Yes.
logically you'd think that would be the case. They take more time to regroup or whatever, and they obviously don't. So that's his logic working against them because they're acting
Yep.
again as primitives. They're acting more on instinct, like we just need to gang up on these people.
Yeah.
But I see his approach.
Yeah.
His approach does make sense.
He's just wrong,
Yes,
but
exactly.
he can't know he's wrong. And that's
Exactly.
where logic is. What's the quote? It's the start of wisdom, not the end. Great point of this, right? He's not able to address the situation. You need various people to come in and be part of the solution.
Yeah. So I see Scout Guy got released from the hospital. He's feeling much better. So that's good.
Really glad to hear that.
We also have another PayPal from BJ Tehran.
Beautiful.
Thank you. 219 US. He says McCoy, as a doctor, is a staff officer. Senior, most line officers should be in charge, at least by modern naval standards. McCoy was not professional, undermining Spock's command with quips he should have kept to himself. Like Data and Worf, Scotty was completely professional. Yeah, Scotty was completely professional in this episode for sure.
So he wasn't doing much.
Yeah, McCoy, again, he kind of disappointed me in this episode a little bit.
Well, he's probably
Speaking to
also
Spock is one
afraid.
thing, and saying little quips to Spock, not within earshot of the other people, but yeah, to say stuff when Spock leaves behind his back is a little. But again, I think he's trying to cushion the blow between Boma and Spock, saying like, I understand your point of view, but I also understand how he is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. So yeah, it's. I
Well,
get what you're saying though.
there's a moment I really like at the end. I'll jump to it now when they're being attacked by the rocks, and Spock has this very interesting acted moment where he's like, "Okay, my assertion was wrong about the creatures, and my action has caused my unexpected action has caused unexpected resentment from my crew members, and is annoyed
Yes.
by it. And the fact that he's acknowledging it is really important.
Yeah.
So I think this is me probably reaching a little bit, but McCoy knows Spock really well, at least better than everyone else here combined, right? So he knows that
Yeah.
he can't actually piss off Spock if he's logically using an argument, right? So I think if for example, we were to walk in and Spock would overhear him what he's complaining, he could tell Spock, the pressure is getting to this crew member. I am allowing him to relieve stress by joining him in a cathartic moment.
Yes.
So it's
Yes,
logical for me to express how he is feeling. Like, so I don't think Spock would be insulted by it. And I'm really reaching, but that Spock, you could make that make sense to Spock, and therefore I think McCoy isn't worrying as much.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
See, this it's amazing how you can analyze this stuff in a way that isn't just a TV show, because this is not what you think you're doing when you watch this stuff, right? You just watch it, knowing we're analyzing one line about. Yes.
32 viewers here, 24 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 30. Feel free to PayPal or super chat in with your thoughts. We appreciate all of it. So support the channel any way you can.
And 32 is great. Feel like this episode, but supporting shows us that you do like it a lot to have us do more.
So Scotty has an idea, and I love how Spock's like, "Go, Mr. Scott," and sits down.
Yeah, yeah.
Go, Scotty, power. No.
Watch Nimoy's face in the scene, because he knows the actor knows what's going to happen, but I love his realization. It's so small, but not for Spock. It's big for Spock.
Yeah. So Scotty's like, we can use the phasers, adapt their energy to basically use in the ship to repower the ship. So really great, honestly. And yeah, and then it's like, Yeoman, your phaser. It's like, what if the creatures attack again? Somebody in the chat earlier said all you really need is one phaser, and that's true. One phaser, especially for protecting just the ship. Maybe two phasers outside, and again, wide beam, stun. Anything that approaches the shuttle, just stun them. Anybody behind them will run away, probably, right? Anyway, yeah.
Well, this is
and
where
Spock's like, yeah, they'll probably be gone for several hours because we scared them. Again, he's wrong, but
yeah, he says it with confidence, and therefore,
well, yeah,
it's really good idea. It's my favorite bit, like single moment in the episode, because it's like, oh damn, that's a real Star Trek solution, and it's both obvious, but also it contextually tells you that the power cells of the phaser are so capable.
Yeah.
But also that there's redundancy. It kind of makes you wish that shuttles had by default a reserve generator aboard. Because if this is that possible, you just need a power cell, a big one. Maybe do that. I'm sure power banks in the future can be bigger than, phasers. Just saying. Now, it did occur to me in the second watch. I know the answer isn't going to be it'll work, but what argument would you say that a phaser, so all six phasers and all six tricorders, or 5 tricorders and 5 communicators, how much power would 5 communicators and 5 tricorders do, given they're presumably meant to be able to be used for days of power? How much power would they be? They don't even mention that. I felt that was a bit odd, because you'd think something.
But they have at least one tricorder, because we know Spock.
Well, it's going to be the standard gear.
The Yeoman's holding
Right.
one as well. I don't know, just translating that to the shuttle movement. It's like saying, okay, I have a lithium battery in my phone. Can I use this to charge my Tesla? You're not going to get a lot of juice from this to the Tesla. It's the same in this case too. So phasers would be more powerful. Like if you're saying like a cattle prod or like a shock stick, that would supply more power to a Tesla than a phone would.
But I would think there'd be a lot of power in a tricorder for its scanning, its robustness, its days of power.
It would be like a laptop battery then.
Yeah,
it's still.
But it's not additive, because they're not trying to. They know from second one, this is not a solution. This is a plan, right? But I would think that even mentioning, even just, if we add all of our electronics except one of each, we can gain 6 minutes of more power, or 4 minutes. That 4 minutes might make a difference.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, and like it's not. Maybe it's 3%, 5%, but I would think it would be useful. And they could have done with as you said, one phaser would solve the problem in this episode. They should have said we need all six.
Yeah.
We need every single one. There is no
Yeah. I think
ifs or
that's
buts.
implied. It's just not said.
I think it's implied too. But they're all
Yeah.
quite chill. But yeah, I love the acting here. It's a really strong solution. I having the yeoman fight him on this feels a little odd in that, do you want to die?
Did you go out and use the phaser? No, you
Oh.
didn't, bitch.
I don't know. I would hope that she would have just listened to the conversation and not be like, well, yes, we'll need to do it, otherwise we'll die. I don't know. You don't need this, but they probably thought she has no lines. We'll give her a line because I forgot she was in it.
Yeah. Anyway, back aboard the
Oh
Enterprise.
yes.
The transporter is working now. Yay.
Yep.
And the transporter guy is like, finding anybody down there would just be sheer luck. And Kirk's like, luck's the only two we have that will work right now. It's like, wow. For Kirk to say that, that's a pretty desperate situation.
Well, the same thing as Spock. A bit later, saying sometimes there is no solution. It's like, oh damn, Mel's wrong. Oh. Okay, dramatic.
Jeff Jacobs throws in 269, so thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
He says, hit like. I pay it 50 likes, so you don't have to. What we want them to, Jeff.
We do. Both. Do both.
We have 30 people here and 25 likes. Hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get those likes up to at least 30, though. That'd be great.
At least. And vote in the poll. How are we doing, in fact? I might do a second one.
Yeah, we got 30 votes, and we got a two-way. Well, it's got a tie for first place. So A and B are both at 40%, with S being at 20%. So
cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right, so down on the planet, Quirlat or Gatno, whatever his name is, gets his phaser knocked out of his hand with a rock. Then he goes to reach for his phaser and a spear blocks it. And then he tries to climb the rock, and poor guy gets killed by a guy wearing a fur coat. Like how they do say that the giants are fur covered, but they're just wearing.
Well, they aren't. They can't see properly, right?
It's fine, sure.
Yeah, I felt kind of sorry for this guy, because to actually throw a rock, even a styrofoam, at the guy's hand, it felt like that probably hurt. Because they really did that. It's gonna be great.
Later, a spear bounces off his fucking head, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
When Spock's carrying his body out, the spear gets thrown, chips a rock, and bounces off his head. And there's no reaction from him. It's great. So.
But yeah, if you look at this shot, I guess because he's gone down, that's why it works better. But this man is just clearly like a 6'6" guy, maybe on tall shoes. He hasn't got the presence that any other sequence infers, and so the shot fails. Now maybe he's a teen version.
This is one of the children, I was gonna say.
But it doesn't. This is the payoff moment, and it falls on its giant feet. Which is ironic, because the giant feet are so much bigger than the guy has. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's just guy wearing a lot of padding. Had his hands up to make himself look bigger.
And I was surprised both times. They've got phasers. Scotty said they need the phasers. And every charge is important, relatively speaking. I was surprised they still had them. I would think they would have given them. Now, yes, they only decharge so quickly, so they're fine.
Well, Spock hands over the one he picks up and his right here. So, but yeah. And another Superman pose from Spock.
Yeah. And another negative quip on Spock with McCoy and Guy. Another one.
Yeah, McCoy's like, I don't understand him. He'll risk his life to find this guy, and if he finds him, he'll probably just as liable to order him to stay behind. Yeah.
Ouch. That's not great. That's not great.
So it's implied that the giant moved his body because they found this phaser, and here he is across a rock. So, and again, Superman posed before he picks him up, very fireman carry style.
I did not know he was meant to be dead. I assume they just pulled his bot, like grabbed him and put him on this rock. So I was surprised when later on they said, "Oh, he dies." Like, what makes you think he got killed? You know, it doesn't look dead
Yeah,
to me. Specifically, it just looks like he's on a rock. I don't know. I just like, oh, okay,
damn it,
cool.
Jim. I'm a YouTuber, not a doctor.
This is true. We see the guy's white underwear, very important,
Yeah,
and then we
and the
really focus
spear
on
that
walking
chips
away.
the rock.
I don't
Yeah,
think the editing is good. He just got kidnapped. He's found instantly with no challenge, no resistance, no sense of scale or pace. So why bother this entire bit? What? Why? Are we padding screen time? Are we showing how strong Nimoy is? There's
yeah.
nothing gained here.
Maybe he is still alive because why would Spock take him back into the shuttle when they need the weight reduction? If he was dead,
I mean, well, but I think that's important if he is dead. But either way, I think this is him saying, I was going to bring the other guy's body back either way. You guys didn't think I would because you offered first. So I am the guy who will order the. I care about the funeral stuff. So I am that guy. I'm just
yeah.
doing other stuff first. This is now my first priority because I need to know why I failed on the understanding my like this makes sense. So him doing this is symbolic of like I'm not leaving the guy behind. Like this is what
Uh,
my job is. So I actually kind of like
and this is the scene that's embarrassing because it's a long shot and or a long take. And Spock sits down. He's thinking. Scotty's looking at the phaser. Then he puts the phaser down in the thing and does the thing, and then he pulls it back out and looks at it again.
Jimmy, do something. I am doing something. Oh sorry. Oh sorry, I'm doing something. Like yeah, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. At least descrew the goddamn power packs and put them in as if it's a charging unit.
yeah.
I
Take
don't
the phaser ones off and like,
because he could be disassembling all of them, and that'd take a few seconds.
yeah,
Yeah, it's I don't think he even was on camera to be honest. As in, like, didn't think he used the wide for this. So if you look at an NPC just resetting,
yeah.
whatever.
But nice conversation between Spock and McCoy here. It's like it's not logical that they returned. They should have been scared.
Yep. Because he's
Of course
flustered.
not.
He's
Yeah.
flustered.
And McCoy's like, of course not. Respect is a rational process. If recruited, they may react emotionally with anger. I love it. It's great. And this is where Spock's like, yeah, and I was wrong in that assumption, and now everybody's pissed at me. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to do what I thought was best.
Which is true. He was just wrong. But that's also
Yeah,
command, right?
yeah. And then we get the guy trying to smash the ship with the rock, and the shutters are closed when they weren't in the scene previous. Just saying, they'll be open again in a second.
And this is our best look of the guy. It's a guy in a coat with black eye makeup and a beard. Great.
Yeah,
They're not even an alien, they're just some guy.
yep.
And you can see he's on a
And
ladder, you know?
yeah, and Spock's having an existential crisis, saying, "I was wrong. How could I be so wrong?" And they're like, "We could use a little bit of encouragement here.
Oh, command.
Less analysis and more action is what we need."
Yeah. Which is a really fair point, and but Spock doesn't understand because it makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense. And yet here we are.
yeah.
And I will gotta give them credit. They really time that as a
Yeah,
group. They do a really good job. I assume there's somebody saying 3, 2, 1 action bangs the shuttle. Oh, there you go.
yeah.
So they like there's a it's really well done. Considering nothing's actually happening. Small thing, but well on them.
But Scott says it's going to be an hour or two at least. And he's like, "Can't you hurry up?" It's like, "Well, phasers can only drain so fast.
Which makes
Cannot
you
change the laws of physics."
which makes you wonder. So what are you doing in the meantime?
Yeah,
Are you just chilling out, having a cup of coffee? Yeah. Back on the Enterprise.
Yep, the ion storm's dispersing,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's not much else they can do. Time's running out,
Mm-hmm.
or time is up. Oh no, it's not. You have 2 hours and 43 minutes left. Kirk's like, I'm aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
First, like, I'm going to continue to remind you because that's my job.
It's my
Yeah,
one job on this damn ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
Yep.
And Kirk's like, I'll search by candlelight if I have to.
Interesting line.
He's getting frustrated. He's in a situation he can't control. He's know he's got a deadline. His friends are missing. He's very much on edge, and I love the way he plays it because it's really good. Maybe a little too much frustration, but at the same time, you got the pencil pusher breathing down your neck. So I'd be annoyed too.
And it
But
is interesting, actually, as a pure case study of, I said earlier, Spock and the scientists are being pushed to their limit, right? And Kirk is here as well. You know, you're seeing how they react. You're seeing how these guys react, and it kind of is, you know, that dramatic. But also, Kirk's safe and chill in this ship, but it's the loss of his best friend, his other best friend, some people that he knows. You know, serious situation.
they're all his crew, and he cares about his crew.
Yes.
And this is where it's like, how much power do we have left in the batteries? Not a lot. Enough to electrify the ship's exterior. Yes, that will, Mr. Spock. And Scotty gets so excited
Well, he gets to stand up
and do a thing.
and do a thing. It's a cool thing.
Yeah,
Cool, cool.
yeah, it's very impressive. But so old school 60s tech, just like a battery with two terminals.
Yeah, why is this doing what he's saying it's doing?
Because it needs to for this story to progress.
Excellent. But this also points out the problem with the set. Main room, second room. Second room is a blank little wall, and a blank wall with some random shit on that means nothing. It's
Yeah.
the worst part of the set, and it's actually bigger than it feels in the front.
Oh yeah, it's much bigger than it looks.
Because those piping's also there. And then once they do it, it works. I really do like the lighting outside. That was nice. That was a good choice. That was a fun. There's a good reason for that. That shows it's 3 layers of action. As soon as they succeed, though, for no particular reason, McCoy runs in, kneels next to him, and looks at a wall above the panel where the electronic is happening. Spock is looking at above that at nothing, and McCoy's looking at nothing.
Yeah.
The whole scene. DeForest has not been given any direction. It's
That's
like
interesting.
something's
Yeah.
over there. It's not. It's just not. Why are you looking over here? Very strange.
But back on the Enterprise. One of the landing parties come back, and I love this. Kirk goes to the station. You see the guy on screen. He's like, "We lost one person, another one's injured." It's great, honestly. I like the communication with the guy in the transporter room, and we don't see that often enough. I like that.
Yeah, but also you could have just filmed it against a blank wall
Yeah,
off
yeah,
the cafeteria. Like it's not on a set; it's just on a wall.
yeah. And apparently, these giants are 10 to 12 feet in height. Okay, cool.
Well, that was a kid, like we said.
Then Ferris comes back on, says, "Time's up." It's like, "Well, I still have a shuttle and search teams out there." It's like, "Well," Kirk's like, "Yeah." He doesn't hesitate either. He doesn't like. It's like, "How long to get in touch with the Columbia?" I'm partial communication with them now.
Yep.
Call them back. It's going to be 23 minutes. It's like, okay, cool. Beam everybody else up. He's not dicking around. Like he is like, okay, we got to seriously finish this up now. He's not trying to buy more time. I think he maybe breathed a little sigh of relief when it's like 23 minutes to get the Columbia back or the Columbus, because it's like, okay, I got a little bit more time. Maybe something will happen. But
Well, that's why
yeah,
it's interesting because they still have no new information, no actual new information, right?
yeah, yeah.
So they do not know they're alive. They have no evidence to support that whatsoever. Right?
And there's Billy. Gotta call out Billy.
There we go. You did it. You did it. Well done.
I know.
Back on the shuttle. Boy, that's a big shuttle. Definitely 24 foot. And I love the, like, we need to give the lady some dialogue. Let's have her call the ship and knowing it's not going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why she's just lady playing lady, right? Sorry for her, because, I mean, she's young, what can she do? But, yeah, nothing.
Yeah, and they're talking about their alternatives. They might be able to lift off, but they might have to come back again and be in the same position they're in. And
Well, that also...
now is a good time. Now's a good time for that funeral. Boma, McCoy. Look, what the fuck are they doing? They're just hiding around this corner. Like they're nestled up to get against each other in that corner. It's not like there's another room back behind that stuff, which would make
And because the
total
actors were
sense.
physically there. They saw there was no space. I don't understand.
I don't either.
Look, McCoy might be very bi. He spends local time with the lady and then with him, you know, just getting a feel. Look, if he's going to die, he might as well go die in style, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look, fucking Scotty is still fucking scanning with the fucking device. Stop it, Scotty! 3 hours you've been doing this! Turn the machine on! Do something! Fix the damn ship! God, can you imagine if he was doing a Scotty adding buffer time? Oh, it'll take 3 hours! Bloop, bloop. And done. Yeah, miracle worker, thanks, mate. Alright, other shuttle lands. It's nice they do the effect shots. And we've got to leave. Back to the planet. I really like this shot. Ooh.
Before that, though, Kirk orders, yeah, start heading to where we need to go. Space normal speed.
Yes.
Space normal, sir?
What?
That's my order. Also, activate all rear scanners. See if we can see anything.
It's like, yes, take us to another star system, full impulse. But sir, that'll take 4.7 years. Punch it.
They still got to get out of the anomaly because they're right in the heart of the anomaly right now.
True.
The planet's right in the center of the thing, so they got to get out of there first.
Hey,
so.
Totally fair. But do you have to go out so slow? No. Back to the shot. I like this shot. I guess it's the same inner, outer, outer, inner. They've now moved this. Because this is, you know, they're not the same set, but it's really cool to see. Adds a lot of depth. But it is just funny how they throw the things. So they can't... This is dangerous. If one of these hit the actor's head properly, it will hurt them and injure them. They can't keep shooting. So they're having to... I'm assuming they hired someone who can throw like a javelin.
Probably just the stagehands and stuff doing it. Because it's not a javelin throw.
No, I know, sure. but I guess health and safety wasn't as important in 66. But they're throwing them so poorly, but so at the actors.
Yeah.
That it both looks silly and also feels dangerous in a mild sense.
Yeah. And Spock gets pinned with a rock, and he's like, "No, just leave without me. Go, go." But they come back and get him, and it's like, "All right, let's go, let's go."
Yeah, so styrofoam rocks, and this is another symbol of Spock's character. He's serious here.
Yeah.
Right. And in fairness, if he doesn't go with them, their chance of surviving is much higher. Because the plan's done, that much less weight will affect the fuel, so it would be meaningful. As would, guys, in our final 15 minutes. Definitely some more super chats and PayPals, your thoughts, comments, questions. Need them to support the show. Want to keep doing TOS, it's important, but only you guys support, so think about that. We've got 25 of you here. If everyone goes 5, we'll be in a good place. Think about it in the last 15 minutes.
Think about your scores. Do it.
Yes.
Anyway, they try to take off. They can't because they're being held down by the thing. And then they eventually use the boosters, which will make sure they don't have boosters later to take off. But to get off, and I love the little wobble to the shuttle. It's a little stupid, honestly, but
good stuff. They're trying, right? Yeah. A lot of the small stuff they do works quite well, and a lot just doesn't. But yeah, it feels like feels good. And you could argue as well. I hadn't thought this until just now. The fact that Spock jumps in and turns on boosters, is that also not a reactionary emotional impulse?
Not really. It's
not really.
If you're being held down, you want to get off the ground. That's their whole purpose. You got to use the boosters. It's the only thing that's would help.
I mean, can you just do
So yes and no.
can you just do the power thing again, possibly?
Possibly.
I mean,
but,
less power than boosters for sure, right?
yeah.
Small thing,
Mm.
just So I rewatched this and his reaction is so visceral. I'm like, oh, is that him doing a?
Yeah.
know?
So because they use their boosters, Scotty says we won't be able to do a soft landing. We're going to either crash or burn up. So.
And it's both times, but more the first time. I thought when they get to that point that they were going to go in the atmosphere. It can survive the heat, and they'd crash and maybe die. But when they say that, they mean and we will die.
Yeah.
But they're so freaking calm about it, and it's so sugar-coated. It's like, oh, and we will die and burn up. There's no salute. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. But they do it. They get into orbit. Sky should get a mild medal for this, because this is an achievement.
Yeah.
Right? Fully get into orbit.
And then Scotty says, but Spock, you said a while ago there were always alternatives. It's like, did I? I might have been mistaken. And McCoy's like, well, at least I live long enough to hear that. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good jab. It's like it's banter, but also, yeah. Because that's the thing. The plan has now been completed. What's the plan, Spock?
But yeah.
This is where I was like, oh.
Yeah, and then McCoy's like, well, Mr. Spock, so ends your first command, which I don't believe for a second. He's like, yes, my first command.
Bullshit.
Anyway.
I mean, we've seen bloody Sulu be in charge of a mission. How is this guy never been in charge? I mean, commanders, he could be really paraphrasing, in charge of a team on a life or death mission, fine, but
yeah.
And also, I possibly get the claustrophobicness, but I don't like how they shoot this, just the extreme close-ups. Doesn't quite work for this ending. But I love the two-shot of Spock and McCoy, seeing them act each other and watching, because they know the script, they know what's going to happen rehearsed. But I love every line they both have is kind of amazing, and the way Spock or Nimoy chooses to take a beat, do some sort of micro reaction to the jab, pause just enough and say something, happens 2 or 3 times, because he is processing his friend being a dick and he's reacting, but it has to be that subtlety. But also they know here with 40 minutes till we die and there's no other plan.
But there is now, because Spock sees the fuel jettison thing.
God, he viscerally hits it, doesn't he?
Yep.
And this is decent effect. That particle is quite good. But I love how it's slightly comedic, how when they all rush to see him, you can tell they've rehearsed it because they all know their ending position. So for some reason, the lady dips down and goes in, and McCoy like they're all finding their final positions. The next shots are perfectly in frame. It's not how you would do that, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So he ignited or jettisoned the fuel and ignited it, and Scotty's like, "Well, now we got like no time left. We're dead in the water." Cutting back to the Enterprise. And
Sulu, I love how Sulu sees the data, which confirms this thing's happening, looks up, waits for the camera to be far enough away to see Kurt's reaction, then reports having looked at the thing. Because he would react quicker, but I love he knows exactly when his cue is, waiting. And then Kirk's just looking here for no reason, just have a turn. It's all very staged. It is more stage play. Not in a bad way, particularly. It's like you notice the tiny moments, like
Yep.
and no zoom in, no computer enlarge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, actually. Yeah. But yeah,
see the plasma. It's a thing. I like the logic. Well, I like the logic. It's a straight course. It's not whatever. Yeah. It's controlled. Cool.
Yeah.
We know what it is.
I like Scotty said, like, sending up a flare. It's a good gamble, Mr. Spock.
Yeah, this is the best.
Spock's like, was it worth it? There's nobody there to see it.
Yeah, this is the best doing moment because he's acting the shit out of this moment. Because he is a military veteran, right?
Yeah, he is.
So the fact that he's giving this much tells something about how they were at the military. this level of respect and admiration for a bold, ballsy, fun idea that is a good like. It means more coming from that sort of guy than a guy out of film school or theater college, but also they can't detect any response. So I did this thing, dying now.
Yeah.
And the calmness of we're now dying in 6 minutes.
Yep. Yep. And also the lines here, like McCoy says, it may be your last action you'll ever take, Mr. Spock, but it was all human. And Spock's like, totally illogical. There was no chance. And McCoy's like, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, the acting is very strong here. And it shows how the Nimoy, he's not non-acting, but he's not doing much, but he's doing so much with his nothing. And it's a very hard thing to not be blank. But yeah. This is why he stands out, right? Because he just does it. Do you like the effect of them burning up? Good effect on the hull. Planet looks like absolute dog shit, but the shell's good.
Yeah. Like, beamed out.
They get hit by smoke, and you can absolutely see the actors trying not to cough visibly. Right before Spot beams out, he's like, because they're being just hit by smoke, right? But yeah, but I mean, I'll go back and look in a second. But it's getting hot in here. And that's the calmness. We're all dying. We know what this means. Oh, it's getting hot in here. It's called an oven, dear. We're about to be cooked. Bit hot, isn't it? What a professional reaction. Take care for your uniforms, yeah. And McCoy has no acting reaction to this. He's like,
that's what it's going to feel like to burn up.
Yeah.
Looking at it from the doctor's standpoint, like, fuck.
It's almost like, I had some dental treatment where I was bleeding profusely. It was quite, lowercase t trauma because I was bleeding so much over many hours. And you just got to disassociate at a certain point. It's like, oh, they're just in my mouth, having tiny thread to do. I can, right? Just dissociate. So I think that's what they're doing. It's like, oh, we're dying. Just not going to count it. 3 dead. But I got to commend them. Even this remaster, this composite of the beaming through the smoke is excellent. Because I was wondering how they're going to do it. And you do feel the depth. No, it's not perfect, but this is a really well done beam out. Well, you can't see McCoy, but this is really good. This is a hard shot to do. And it is, 3 seconds from death?
Yeah. And then you get the, on board the Enterprise, it's like, oh, whatever it was burned up in the atmosphere. But we got 5 people back. And Kirk's like, God.
But
there were 7 people, weren't there?
Oh, yeah.
Who's not there? But no, just getting some people back was good.
But I want to point out that the information would have been there in Sulu's station. Right? There's a shuttle. If the transport operators are getting a lock, then they would know it's a shuttle. So he would now know. I'm just saying, small thing, but he'd know.
Oh, it's supposed to be happening instantaneously at the same time.
Sure.
Like the shuttle breaks down and the beam out happens at the same time, so there's a little bit of a delay between the two for them materializing anyway. Would be my guess. And then we get the very TOS ending.
To a T.
Yeah, you knew there was no chance. Seems like an act of desperation. Desperation is very illogical. Yeah. Anyway. You're a stubborn man, Mr. Spock. Yes. That's it's a little overplayed, but okay.
The original's better. With a scan down of the smoke. It's a little better.
Oh, the original effect for the...
It's just a little bit. It's more of a scan line up, but it's in motion with the camera. It's presuming in... I think it took the photo and went up, so that's actually better than the new one. Not a lot, but it doesn't jar as much. Huh. Sorry, I'm on to beam out so much better than it is.
And Jeff Jacobs said he sent a PayPal. Yeah, if it's a score, I'll read it after we give my scores.
Yeah, I'm sad to lose these miniature shots of the inside of the shuttle bay because they are better, I think, than these. They're more static, but they look more real. Because those had to hold up stronger than the outside, because it's a
Mm.
full set.
So Jeff sent in
Oh.
$5 and says, "Well, with 24 watching, I guess Fitty was unrealistic. Is this the first time we see Scott MacGyver something?" I would say yes.
Yeah.
Thought Kirk seemed kind of lost without his idea men. I originally thought Kamish was a dick, but people are dying. Real reason to be on time. Shuttle is CCC. Client car class. I don't know what that means. But thank you, Jeff.
And the original B-mail, just as good. I mean, you can see them be, you can see that they like reverse or you can see that they put them into they had a freeze pose on them while the smoke's moving, but it's just as good as the original. It looks really good, really well done B-mail. Thought it was a difficult shot. Thank you, Jeff. But yeah, the laugh out joke is stupid because the director said, right, we need about 19 seconds of hardcore laughing to cut to commercial, and they're like, ha 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 ha. Risa, ha ha ha, and you can see the girls at the back, which is funny they all come together. And her just like changes her laughing pattern to another laugh, and then another laugh, and then keeps getting everyone. It's very
It's
embarrassing because it's also
it's
at the
Scotty. It's Scotty that gets me.
oh yeah, and it's also at the expense of their chief science officer
And their second in
and
command.
the second in command. I would have been great to have a deadpan pad like kind of like because he must be watching. It's like you fucking bastards. I know what this means. I do know humans, you dicks. 5 seconds appropriate, crew. 45 seconds is totally inappropriate. Stop it. Stop it. What's that? What's that? Borg. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You know.
Oh, clown car class. Yeah, CCC.
Yeah. Well, we did it. What should people do,
All right.
Stuart?
That's the end. You guys need to super chat in with your scores or PayPal in with your scores out of 10. Any reviews you want to give? I mean, PayPal's better for that because you get 280 characters. So you can little write up like Jeff did. But super chat or PayPal in your scores. I will read those once I've given my final thoughts on this and my scores. And then if you want to just put your score in the regular chat, Sam will read those out after he's done his little bit. But yeah. All right.
So, Stuart, what do you think of this episode, episode this, and
Yes.
how's it held
Yes,
up
yes,
after
yes.
our, I would say, pretty damn in-depth conversation? I'm quite pleased with how we found loads of things. I think we both thought we might, but pretty in-depth on this. How do you feel now? How does it compare? Has our conversation changed at all? And you welcome
Well,
everyone. For
this is season one, production order number 14, release order number 16. Um, yeah, the discussion really helped with a lot of things. It really cleared a lot of things up. You know, I think there were ways to make this a much better episode. There are some really good talking points, though, and arguments that can be made for how things were dealt with and whether it was right or wrong. There's no real correct answer, and I think that's kind of the fun point. But yeah, I really appreciated talking about it, and I definitely have a much better feelings on this episode after rewatching it and after discussing it now. And it'll be one that moves up higher in my rankings as far as favorite TOS episodes. So that's a good thing. I did, like I said, I like the ensemble cast. Even Sulu got lines about stuff, and Uhura got stuff. But they also put in extra characters. Like I liked Ferris. He wasn't being an asshole, which I thought he was going to be. He was great. Boma, I like the actor. I can understand being under pressure and being a bit of a dick, but he was too much of a dick, a little bit too insubordinate. So things like that kind of irk me. No red shirts died. 3 people died.
would it have helped if they had hired the Boma guy as a proper fresh-faced 18-year-old looking kid actor versus a much more
No,
mature looking guy? Because there would have been just absolute immaturity
no,
and okay.
I don't think so because no, I don't want to get into all that. But yeah, two yellow shirts died on the planet. Somebody died in one of the landing parties. But we don't know who that was. That was great. um, Giants could have been done better, but I do like the idea it was giants instead of just regular size. Like, they're trying to do something alien. And I thought that was great. Um, Shuttle props, fantastic. Interiors, not so much. and the fact that they don't match up to each other is just kind of a funny thing. McCoy, I think, didn't really live up to his character. His quips with Spock were good, but kind of undercutting Spock wasn't, I think, a good thing. Kirk also being a little bit arrogant at the beginning, I think was it's a little disappointing to see that, but I understand also his cockiness and his assuredness that they've got this. His crew's the best. He thinks that they can do it. So no problem. 2 days is more than enough time. So there's a few things that I think could use a little tweaking here and there, especially the opening of it. Like you said, just starting it with the shuttle already on the planet would have been interesting and made it better. But yeah, other than that, score wise, show me the scores and I will do one at a time.
Enjoyment.
I am going to give this probably an 8.3 out of 10.
All Trek.
All Trek, 7.8 out of 10.
Old Trek only. Everything until Enterprise. Or Nemesis 20.
7.7.
And then goes smack dab between Discovery and Prodigy and Lower Decks and Picard. How does it compare to New Trek?
8.6.
Hard for you to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you think you would have given an enjoyment score based on previous knowledge only, having not rewatched it? If you can think back for a second.
Oh, absolutely. It's 6.4. I wouldn't have given it very high. It would have been very much mid-tier. So yeah, I think it's moved up more upper mid-tier for me, not quite in the top, but it's moved up for sure. So that's a good thing. Yeah. I see no super chats that I can read score wise. I feel disappointed. Let me check the PayPals.
Yes. People say things. We like PayPal. Like people.
We got some. Yes. BJ throws in $1 and says a 7 out of 10. Interesting, but could have been better. Works better as a Stranger Worlds episode with a younger Lieutenant Spock. I would agree with that. Yes.
Actually, Ethan would do a good job in this.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be a punt if they actually went back and did a, put him in a dark situation, did it on the wall. Actually, Giants. Yeah, I did season 1 Battles Terror. Do this with that. That'd be great, actually.
Yeah. Jeff Jacobs puts in 269 and says a 9 out of 10 for nostalgia, 3 out of 10 for shuttle interior, 8 out of 10 for acting and additional characters.
Okay.
9 out of 10 for shuttle exterior, 2 out of 10 for improper phaser use, i.e., no stun setting. What exactly did that giant do to that guy? Just kind of bent over him. Spock acting shaken by his decision seemed off.
Well, damn.
I don't know if it seemed off necessarily, the hecticness that was going on at the time, and he was trying to make the right decisions, and every decision was wrong essentially, and it turned his crew against him a little bit. He felt a little flustered. He's still part human, so
yeah.
All right, Sam, your turn. Now that we've talked about it, how do you feel about it, and has it changed your opinion at all on this episode? Because we had a good discussion.
Yes, no, maybe. Can you repeat the question? Yeah, it's as I said to you after the first review, and I was very blunt, honest then. Expectations are so important in this. I expected one of my not favorite, but one of my top 10, whatever. And it really isn't. When you look at it from now, a script writing, structure, character work, which I never looked at before when I was watching it for pure entertainment. So that's now having then second time knowing I didn't think it was that great. You can get into what it actually is, not what you remember it being. And that's what's interesting about this, right? You get that raw perspective. So you have the reverse. Both have the reverse, which I think is actually interesting. It's definitely now dropped to a mid for me because it's not a very successful episode because they're trying too much. But that itself is why it's a good episode, because they're trying so much. So it's a backhanding compliment, but it's got to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And just like with we use this example quite a lot, just like with you and Star Trek Academy, really disliking the Romulan lady because she's trying to be dislikable. That is the point. She's succeeding wonderfully. This episode is meant to have you really dislike Spock and his vibes because they're both, in my opinion, my version, doing wrong choices, but 100% intentional, and they're doing it on purpose to see the extreme. So my enjoyment or not of it is not dependent on the point of the episode, because that's the point, right? Blah blah. So it's a really interesting one, but yeah, definitely it's less good than I thought. But I probably would have given it an 8.5 originally. So that, I mean, that was a high bar, right? And it's nowhere near that, I think. Yeah. So score wise, it's tricky. I'm gonna say enjoyment 6.9.
Okay,
which is
69.
Yeah. Well, point. Yeah, it's just not quite hitting 7. Because 7's close to 8, and I said it was not far off 8. But I think 6.9 sounds good. All Trek. I'll go 7 for All Trek just because it's a real shuttle, right? Small distinction. I'll go All Trek because of what it achieved. Old Trek, I mean, Void and TNG, but they all just beat this for a lot of the character work. And what they don't do is the character stuff is what I don't like about it, but also it's interesting because they're doing it. So, right? God. 6.5. Really hard to work out, but New Trek, because the acting is really good, I'll go 7.8 on New Trek. Because it's succeeding at the interpersonal bullshit versus discovering strange worlds which don't always do it. Right? The stupid decisions are because they're making stupid choices as characters, not because they're stupid. Or they are as characters. So yeah, much higher compared to New Trek, in my clarification here. Really, really hard on scores. One really, really... That's tricky.
Cool. All right, read some non-super chat scores,
Yeah.
and then we got to close out.
Absolutely. We have got Sci-Fi Guy 8 out of 10. Chuck 8.5 out of 10. Joseph 9.1 Star Trek story writing at its best. Cut and Corgi 8.5 out of 10. Damn, a lot of 8.5s. Well, not a ton of people saying, but yeah, okay.
Devo 8
Oh,
out
and
of
Dan
10,
7. And Devo 8 as well.
Dan also says a lot of TOS episodes end with laughing. Yes, but this one was way ridiculously exaggerated.
Oh.
So
this is almost as if they do it every week, but they always cut before it's silly, but here they had to pad that. So it's like, we have it just in case. It's like TMP, we're going to use every second of the laughing. Should we? No. But we did anyway, right?
All right, so next week, guys, it is Court Martial. That's what we're looking at next week, which is a great episode, very procedural, and I love that. So be sure to watch that for your homework next week. And join us for our lives earlier in the week as well. Check out our content on the weekend, and thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate you.
Let's all do our thing. Have a good weekend. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I'll be away from the PC. Do some real lifing.
Cool.
Not my wedding.
All right.
Cousin's wedding.
Until next time, guys. He's Commander Cochran.
He's got a Foley.